What's going on, y'all? Look, in this video, I want to talk about the real reason she walks on eggshells around you. Okay, look, fellas, if you ever had a girl tell you this or anybody tell you this, that they feel like they got to walk on eggshells around you, all right, this is what I mean. It means that she can't be herself around you, okay? And there's reasons for this. And I want to break this down in a way so that you understand what's happening and what you can do to create a space for her so that she doesn't feel like she has to walk on eggshells around you. All right. Cause I used to struggle with this myself. Okay. So look, man, I had a coaching call with the dude yesterday, man. Young cat, 26 years old, doing his thing though. Got his own business, man. Thriving really in that sense as far as his career. And he's got a girl that he's really into. They're going through like a no contact type thing right now. I know that he was with her for about a year and a half. So, you know, he's got some time invested. He's got some emotions invested with her, and he's trying to get her back right now. And the reason he's trying to get her back is because his words were, you know, he wasn't always gentle with her. All right. And I know exactly what he's talking about. Okay. Not like on some physical type stuff, but even on like some emotional type stuff. And I struggled with this at times too in my past relationships. I wasn't always gentle either. I had to learn how to speak and how to hold space for women. And once I learned how to do this, it really enhanced my, the quality of my relationships with women, my dating, even also just interactions with people in general, once you understand what I'm going to talk about, okay? So look, man, I'm talking to the cat, and he's going through that no contact stuff. But like I said, he said that he wasn't, gentle with his lady. And he's had moments where, kind of acting out of character, acting out of integrity, whether it's yelling, whether it's getting belligerent. He said he drank here and there. He doesn't do that anymore. But that resonates with me because I've been there as well. I used to drink quite a bit and just not knowing how to regulate myself. That's what this boils down to. The real reason she walks on eggshells around you is because you don't know how to regulate yourself. And in simple terms, it means you don't know how to ground yourself. You don't know how to bring yourself back to zero when you get triggered. Okay. And you might be watching this like, what does that even mean to get triggered? Okay. I'm going to try to break all this down as simply as I can. It just means when you feel that sense of like disrespect, when somebody says something to you and you feel like it was out of pocket, but there's an activation that happens within your body. And a lot of us don't recognize when this happens, and it can take over the moment. I used to suffer. I used to suffer from this a lot too. And I know a lot of us do. All right. And what I've learned, man, is key to really be able to learn how to be present, how to be in the moment. I've been on dates with some women and they've literally told me like, you need to like do videos on this because they might know I do YouTube and whatnot. You need to do a video on this, on emotional maturity, how to hold space. Because what I've learned is not only is it key to learn how to ground yourself, it's also key to learn how to listen. Okay. The reason that these women feel like they got to walk on eggshells around you, bro, is because your reactions to things can be unpredictable. They don't know how you're going to react. She might bust your balls or something and say something about a shirt you're wearing, and you might get defensive about it and start, oh, why are you saying this? But you don't like this shirt. You know what I mean? And you get butthurt about things. Women don't like being around men that get butthurt, that's overly sensitive about things. Now, look, this is not to say there's anything wrong with being an emotional guy or an emotional individual. The key is learning how to not let your emotions, not let your emotions dictate how you respond in certain moments. That's where we mess up a lot. We get something is said to us, we get emotional, and then we start lashing out and we start reacting from a place of emotion. And it's not a good look. It's not a good look, man. Especially if you're raising your voice, getting aggressive, you treating her like, like a piece of crap, and you're just getting out of pocket. So what I had to learn, man, is really, like I said, you have to learn how to ground yourself. And the way that I learned how to do that, man, was starting to meditate. Okay. The reason a lot of us are losing ourselves in these relationships and it's because your thoughts, the stories you're telling yourself, your impulsiveness, your inability to be able to sit within discomfort. It just outweighs your ability to be able to keep yourself cool, calm, collected. You're so used to reacting and responding to things a certain way, which may not be healthy, you're so used to doing it that it's going to take time to be able to like learn how to slow down, not say something right away. You know, say your girl said something to you, I'm trying to think of an example. You know, when she comes at you like, when you say this to me, it makes me feel this way, or when you did this, it made me feel that way. And naturally, you want to be like, well, I mean, if you wouldn't have done that, I wouldn't have did this, or the only reason I did that is because you said this to me. You see what I'm saying? You defend yourself and you make excuses as opposed to learning how to just listen to what she's saying. If she's saying, yo, when you spoke to me that way, it made me feel like shit. You know, you need to be more of like, damn, babe, I'm sorry I spoke to you that way. You know, that was uncalled for. It was unnecessary. I let the moment get the best of myself. I let my emotions get the best of myself, and I apologize to you. And I'll make sure that that doesn't happen again. All right. That's how you got to own your shit too, man. You got to own your behavior. Okay. And it's really key to listen to what women are telling you. People in general, they're saying things to you like, yo, you made me feel this way. Or, yo, when you did this, listen to them, because the better you get at listening and being able to really address their concern, you know, what she's bringing to you, this is going to like improve. This is going to keep her from feeling like she's got to walk on eggshells with you. Okay. The reason she's got to walk on eggshells, bro, is because you're unpredictable. She doesn't feel like she can be herself around you. She don't feel like she can like express to you without you taking it a certain way and flipping it upside down. And now you're flipping it on her. Women don't like that. Where people don't like that. Okay. So it's really important to understand that you want to learn how to create emotional safety for her. And when you're trying to create emotional safety for a woman, first off, it starts with creating it for yourself. Okay. And I want you to, if you struggle with this, man, I want you to look back on the examples that you had, that you saw in how to treat women and how to handle their emotions. You know, maybe you grew up and you seen your dad or the man in your life. Maybe he didn't know how to hold space for a woman. You know what I mean? Maybe she said something to him, and maybe she said something to like your dad or your uncle or your grandfather or whoever. And all you saw was him reacting to it, or even overreacting to it, defending himself, over explaining, maybe even getting aggressive, getting belligerent, name calling when it gets to that degree. So I want you to take that moment to really, what's up, bro? So I want you to take time to really just look back on your origin story, man. Where did you learn how to speak to women, how to hold space for women? Were you shut down as a kid when you was coming up? Was people telling you like, yo, dudes don't cry, dudes don't show emotion? Okay, because a lot of us have been conditioned this way. So what happens is we've been conditioned to not hold space for our own emotions. How the hell are you going to expect to be able to hold space for a woman? And then that's when we start falling into like, we start performing for women. And what I mean by performing is you're not your authentic self, man. You're not being true to yourself. You're catering to her. And that's kind of a whole different topic. And I don't want to get off on too much of a tangent, but it's important to know like where you learned these behaviors from. Because once you know and you put some awareness on it, you can start to do something about it. But like I was saying earlier, man, meditating, learning how to just sit. And a lot of us, man, can't even meditate because you can't even sit still for 5 minutes. Your brain is all over the place. You're overthinking, you're ruminating. And that's the first step, man. You got to learn how to be able to sit with yourself, sit with your emotions, sit with your feelings, man. Sit when it's like uncomfortable, when it's like, I don't want to sit with this. I feel sad. I feel angry. I miss her, whatever it might be. It's like getting in the gym. The more you can start working this muscle of being able to sit in discomfort or sit in those types of conversations with a woman where it's like she asks you something about your job or something, you feel like you got to put a little bit of extra on it. You know what I mean? It's like you don't even know how to just be authentic. Yo, like when a woman asks me like, yo, I wait tables, I work in the food industry. You know what I mean? It might not be in alignment with where she is in her life. She might be a lawyer, you know what I mean? And she might look at me a certain way. Those are the types of things that you can't worry about. I can't control any of that. I mean, I can control what my job is and stuff like that. What I'm saying is I can't control where I'm at in my life or what I'm doing or what I'm not doing, how she feels about it. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not going to get all defensive and, oh, what, I ain't good enough. I don't make enough. No, I'm not worried about that. This is what I'm talking about. The stories that we start to concoct that we start to conjure up in our head, man. Sometimes we are our own worst enemy and we get in our way. Look, before I keep going, man, if you're getting any value out of this video, please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel so you know when I make more content just like this. Also, if you want to dive deeper into this, emotional mastery, self-mastery, understanding yourself a bit better, stop lashing out. You know, if you're looking for that mentorship, that type of guidance, then book a one-on-one call with me, all right? I struggle with this stuff myself too, all right? And I had to go on a journey to learn how to ground myself. Now I can have a conversation with any woman. I don't care if she's super bad, if she ugly, she fat, it don't matter. I can sit. You know what I mean? I can sit within that. I'm not feeling all anxious. I'm not all nervous. I'm not all chasing her validation. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Learning how to create space for a woman so she can feel safe, so she can just let her hair down, kick her feet up, really settle into that feminine energy that you may hear about in these videos and you hear dudes talking about. If she feels like she got to walk on the eggshells around you and she can't be truly comfortable or feel truly safe, you'll never really like get all of her, if that makes any sense. So it starts with you. It doesn't start with what she's doing or with what anybody's doing. It starts with you learning how to slow down, how to pause before you speak, how to listen more, how to reflective listen. Listen to what she's saying, man. Learn how to hear what she's saying and bounce it back off of her. You know, if she's talking about her job or something, ask her a question about her job. Oh, this happened to me at work today. This person did this. Oh, yeah. You know, if she's complaining about something, how'd that make you feel, girl? You know what I mean? Or, damn, I bet that was annoying. Learning how to like validate somebody's experience, man. This is going to create more safety from somebody. It's going to make people feel more comfortable to speak to you and not be on edge, not be so worried. Like, is he about to lose his shit? Is he about to lose his mind and go off on me? You don't want that. You don't want to be in that swimming in those waters. It's very important to learn how to ground yourself, emotionally regulate yourself. And that starts with meditating, sitting in discomfort, starting to focus on your breathing, listen more before you speak. Okay? These are things you want to start incorporating. You have to start incorporating if you want to be successful with women and their relationships and relationships overall. You have to learn how to ground yourself. This is the real reason that she walks on eggshells around you, because you don't know how to ground yourself, man. And she can't trust you. That's the reality of it, all right? So I wanted to just make this quick video. I hope this hit. If it did, again, leave me some comments. Let me know what you felt about this, man. Let me know if you even felt this, all right? If you did, make sure you check out this video on the screen. I'll see y'all in the next one, all right? Peace.